Alright, hello everyone. This is the vacuum guy, and today we're going to do a full in-depth review on the Hoover fold-away WidePath. So today we're going to do a full in-depth review and demonstration. At the end of the video, I'm going to put some dirt down and demonstrate it. I'm going to show how to use it and how to maintain it, and we're also going to go over the good things and the bad things about this Hoover fold-away. So real quick, this machine, I believe these first came on the market either 2002 or 2003, but I do know for sure that these were discontinued in 2006, and this one is a later model, was actually made in 2006. So this example that you're looking at is the last fold-away that was on the market. Okay, so we'll do an overview of the machine. So here it is, the Hoover WidePath fold-away. So I also want to mention that these machines came in many different colors. They made a yellow one, I believe. I believe they also made a blue one, a black one, and obviously they made a white one. They also made a few that were non-WidePath. I believe they even made a translucent one. So, yeah. So you can see this is the WidePath. I believe this is the 15-inch cleaning width. And unfortunately, you can see there is a plastic bumper. But unfortunately, it is plastic. It's not rubber. Right here it says WidePath, and then right here is your height adjustment. So you can see it's on the medium pile carpet setting. You can switch it to low carpet to bare floors, and then of course high pile carpet. I like to keep it on the medium setting for this medium pile carpet. You can see it also advertises a 12 amp motor. And up here is the headlight, and you can see it says stair cleaning handle. So presumably you can carry it like this, or actually guide it like this as you're using it on the stairs, which is kind of interesting since this machine actually does come with a proper stair cleaning tool. But anyway, moving up is the dirt canister. So the way this comes off, there's a latch up here that you simply pull down, and then the container unlocks and pulls right out just like that. You can see it says WidePath fold-away with fold-down handle, which I'll demonstrate later. And back here, it actually shows you how to maintain and clean the filters and check for the belt, which is nice. So, unfortunately, this particular model is broken right here. But anyway, to empty it, you pull up on the filter, just like that, and then the heavy debris is usually in here. You empty it, preferably outside, and then all the dust, the sand, and fine debris gets caught in the filter. And unfortunately, because this machine does not have a cyclone, you see the air intake comes up in there. A lot of the fine debris just gets into this filter and it clogs it up, and so you'll probably have to clean this filter every time you use it. So to access the filter, you have a button that you press, and then pops out. There is a screen to capture large debris, and here's your filter. You can take it out, and if you have a second vacuum, you can actually just vacuum out the pleats with the hose. You can also use an air compressor to clean in between the pleats, just to blow all the dirt out. You could use a blower. There's multiple ways you can clean this. You can also wash it, but I recommend just replacing it every 3 months or so, depending on usage. So, and then to put it back, there's actually a tab back here that you want to line up. And then you can snap it back into place. Put the filter back. Now there's another filter right here. This is your exhaust filter. All you do is pull down this tab, which is a little stiff, just like that, and then you have this little filter here that Hoover's been using for a while. So, and all this does is just capture the carbon dust that the motor produces. So the suction actually comes from up here, goes down into the motor, and then it blows, it exhausts behind the bin through those little vents that you can see. So kind of an odd design. And obviously this machine did not stick around for very long. So you just line up the tab down there, and you can push it in. A little bit tricky to do one-handed. What's kind of interesting is you can actually change the bulb from down here. So right there on the picture, it shows using a flathead to pop this cover off, which is pretty neat, so you don't actually have to unscrew anything. So of course it says unplug first, and then you can pry the top off to change headlight bulb. You also have a nice gasket here that seals the container, and then one up here, the filter that seals it to the suction portion right there. So a little tricky to do one-handed, but all you do is push it in all the way until it's flush, and then you close the handle just like that, and then it's secured. You can see it says carrying handle, so you can actually carry it from here, or you can carry it from the main handle. It doesn't really matter. Moving on to the side of the vacuum, you can see there's the hose. And one thing that's kind of neat is that there is actually a little trap door that closes. So in case you're using the tools and the vacuum is picking up stuff, it will not, the brush will not shoot it out from here, because this will stop it, which is nice. So anyway, here's your hose, and shows a sticker how to remove it, and that it must be attached for cleaning. I am going to have to undo the cord, but anyways, here's your upper cord hook. It is swivelable. You can release your cord. It's not the longest cord in the world. I think it's maybe about 25 feet. Just a standard cord with a standard plug, nothing special. And you can see it's in very good condition. There's nothing wrong with it. This is the original cord. And you do have a nice cord protector there. So anyways, here's your hose. You can pull it out all the way. And it actually is a pretty stretchy hose. It actually stretches a pretty nice amount. And one thing I do like is because the hose is mounted down here instead of up here somewhere, when you're pulling it, the vacuum will most likely just follow you instead of tipping over, which is a pretty nice feature that's actually mounted down here. So as far as attachments you get, you just get a standard dusting brush. Here's your dusting brush. And unfortunately, these do get pretty, you see the bristles get out of line. So you do want to change these whenever they get like that. But the dusting brush itself is actually very, very nice. It's very soft. It does a good job at dusting, so that's good. You have a standard upholstery tool / stair tool. So you can do your stairs, you can do the couch with it, etc. And then you have extension wand and crevice tool right here, which the extension wand is a decent length, but you get a very, very long crevice tool with this model. So as you can see, that's a very long crevice tool. And it says 2-in-1, meaning that you can just use it as a crevice tool to do your crevices, And you can actually use this crevice tool to extend your reach. So say you want to dust high, so you can put the extension wand, the crevice tool on, and then on the dusting brush there's actually a groove right here for the crevice tool to slot in. So with the stretchy hose and the long extension wand and crevice tool, you can actually get a really good reach with this. So you can see I can actually dust pretty high, which is nice. So the attachments on this vacuum is actually pretty impressive. And of course, the attachments have their own spot on board. Snap that in place. Stair tool, dusting brush. And then the push down the trap door with the hose, and then you can slide the hose in. So yeah, just show some warning stickers down there. Here's your pedal release, so you just press it with your foot, and you can obviously vacuum as normal. In traditional upright vacuum fashion, you can press it again to get under low furniture, and this machine actually lies relatively flat considering it is a bagless vacuum. So that's good. It's obviously not going to get under a lot of stuff, but you can vacuum under a coffee table. So that's good. So yeah, up here is your power switch. So it's just a single speed on, off. Then right here, there's a little lever. You can see it says pull, so you pull this down and then you can fold the handle down to store the vacuum. So that's actually a pretty cool feature. And then of course you can put it back up and it actually already automatically locks in. It's a pretty sturdy handle, which is nice. Doesn't have much play in it. And then of course you have your cord hook up here to keep the cord out the way when you're vacuuming. So that's nice. So let's take a look at the underside. So here's the brush roll. This is the original brush roll. It is a Cleveland Wood Products brush roll. And it is a very, very aggressive brush roll. These bristles are very, very stiff and they really stick out a lot from the vacuum. So these machines do a very good job at deep cleaning, so that's good. Your belt is right here. I believe these take Hoover Elite belts. So if you ever need to change the belt, you have to undo 2 screws, which unfortunately this one right here, the plastic stripped out so the screw wouldn't stay in. But anyways, you have 1, 2 right there, and then you have, if I recline the vacuum, 1 right there, and then another one under the hose. Pop off the cover, and then I think you have like 5 or 6 more screws to undo, and then you can pop off another cover and change the belt. So a few more steps with this one as far as changing the belt versus other vacuums. Of course, you have your height adjustment wheels right there, and then the sticker is right here. So this is a 12 amp model, and the model number on this is U5175-900, and this one was manufactured, if I'm reading that right, in 2006, down there. And of course you have your large rear wheels, which unfortunately these are pretty beat up, probably welded on concrete or something. These wheels are in better shape, so yeah. Well, I think that pretty much does it as far as the overview of the machine. I'll put down a small mess and see how this machine performs. Well, that's about the end of my review of the Hoover WidePath Foldaway. So what do I think of it? I think it is a good performer, has very good performance, very good agitation, pretty decent suction. It has a good set of attachments, and the build quality is pretty good. My main con with this machine is the maintenance. That filter in there gets dirty way too fast because there's no cyclone to separate the dirt from the filter. But with that being said, this machine again has great performance. I like the sound of the motor on this one. It's relatively quiet. So yeah, would I recommend it? The answer is no, simply because the maintenance on this machine, you're gonna have to clean the filter pretty much every time you empty this machine. But for a collector, yes, I would absolutely recommend it, as these are getting harder and harder to find. So that's about the end of this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.